What's going on, boys and girls? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. So last time, I think Amane found out about something that Yuji bought from Machina, but wants to keep it a secret. I'm not really sure. I haven't recorded for the past few days like I wanted to. Like, I actually planned to record in these last 2 days, but I haven't had the opportunity. If any of you actually watched through the last episode, at the end of it, I said that I wasn't looking forward to the next day. The next day was jury duty, and it ended up with me having to serve on the jury. So, first of all, that was my first time doing any of that. And second of all, I wasn't really expecting to be serving. So, that ended today. All is good. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to state that I am a little, I don't know, out of it, I guess you can say, because my mind is just filled with a bunch of information and shit that I just need to disregard at this point because it's completely useless. So I might be a little out of it. I might be fucking up here and there. I'm also really tired because I had to wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So I apologize for any inconveniences, but I felt like I needed to record to be able to get this stuff up and to stay somewhat consistent with this playthrough, so we'll jump right back into Seed of the World Tree 7. Cold sweat slowly trickles down from my armpits. Come on, Amane. You haven't heard of Triton? Oh, that's right, we're talking about some shit like this. Well, hopefully this is a refresher. You haven't heard of Triton? From the kids show on satellite TV, he's ridiculously popular these days.
そうなの？聞いたことないけど、本当に？
I actually can't tell if Yuji's lying or not. Of course, you know, hey-oh, it's me, Triton. Listen up, boys and girls. When you're setting up your pitfall traps, don't forget to smear rotten shit on the tips of your bamboo spears. Ringing any bells now? Pretty famous line.
知らないわよ。っていうか、腐ったクソ？
Yes, exactly. In other words, Triton's reminding the boys and girls in front of their TV sets that wars are won through a steady accumulation of minor harassments. The little guy knows his stuff.
何よそれ。紛争地の少年ゲリラ向けの子供番組？
Well, my attempt to avoid Amane's wrath through spontaneous babble seems to have backfired somewhat. You may have noticed by now, but I'm really not much of a liar. In any case, don't worry about Machina. I'll personally raise her into a splendid lady capable of returning alive from any hellhole we drop her into.
それを言うなら、どこへ出しても恥ずかしくない立派なレディーでしょ？放り出してどうするのよ？
Because that's what the real world is? Well, anyway, that's how it is. Later.
こら、ユージ！話はまだ終わってないわよ。
Hey, don't call me mister. Call me, I don't even know what I was gonna say.
まったくもう。
I was gonna use the, because isn't there like a, if you don't, what is it, sexually identify as a, male or female or one of those shits? Not the sex, but like actual gender. You don't have a gender or whatever. You don't choose to have a gender or something like that. You, like, there's some like in between that you can use, not Mr. or Miss or Mrs. or any of that. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm talking about that.
何を買ったのかしら？
This is why we never get far in the playthrough. Like, in all honesty, I really wish I could actually get like a story in, like every, session or something like that and keep it there. But with my rambles like this, I'm always having to stop, midway through a fucking story or chapter or whatever. Like, we could have stopped here now that the screen is black. Like, we're kind of like done with that part. We could have stopped here, but I didn't know. I don't know, man. Honestly, it's not like we're doing anything to be ashamed of. Given enough patient explanation on my part, I'm sure Amane would understand eventually. But where possible, it's best not to advertise this sort of skill. For one thing, the value of a trump card is inversely proportionate to the number of people who are aware of its existence. And while our current pursuit may have gained tentative social sanction of a kind of sport, it still strongly evocative of lethal weaponry. We have a serious image problem to overcome, sort of like motorcycles in that respect. There's this nagging, prejudiced assumption that a young person who gets one of these is going to end up using it for evil purposes. For that exact reason, I think it's necessary to demonstrate that Machina understands the rules and can follow them responsibly. If the girl really knows what she's doing, we'll have a much easier time convincing Amane. Carefully cradling the long, heavy case we'll be using this afternoon, I wait for Machina to finish her bath. Oh, same day. Also, oh hey, the text is already there. It's not, I don't have to wait for the animation or the text to, you know, spell itself out. Someone said in a comment, I'm not gonna put it up on the screen because I will forget and I'm too lazy to find the comment, but someone said that my birthday was on the 6th, and I'm pretty sure I said it's on the 5th. This is the day after my birthday. We skipped my birthday, remember? Like, there was a huge time gap from July to August, and, you know, it skipped to the day after my birthday. So, to whoever said that my birthday was on the 6th, it's not on the 6th, it's on the 5th. I apologize. Just want to clarify that. Machina, a word. It seems Amane started to notice our secret games. From now on, let's play a little more stealthily. You're really clueless, aren't you? Listen up, Machina. Playing is inherently more fun when you're doing it behind mommy's back. It's because I'm your dad. Alright then, we'll begin where we left off this morning. I will now present you with your rifle. I kind of thought that's what this was, because I remember it from the anime. Lowering the hefty whatever, case to the ground, I began rolling the dials on the combination lock. 9029. Okay. The lock clicks open as I slide the last digit into place. Couldn't forget this number even if I wanted to. I think it was brought up in Sachi's story too, but I read it really weird and didn't understand it. But then it kind of made some sense. I won't talk about it because I don't remember if that was clarified. I swing open the lid of the case, revealing a bed of foam with a number of cutout spaces, keeping various components safely in place. The barrel, the action, the magazine, an olive drab stock, and last but not least, a telescopic sight that set me back a good bit, more than the body of the rifle itself. Pulling these out of the case, I quickly snap the rifle together, leaving only the magazine unattached. Good move. Taking the weapon carefully in both hands, I stand before Machina and read out the number etched on the right-hand side of the barrel. Your rifle, serial number 112035. I forcefully thrust out the rifle toward Machina's chest, and she receives it with similar vigor, repeating the serial number. This little ritual helps grind it into the thick heads of new recruits that the rifle is an irreplaceable partner, while simultaneously encouraging a healthy sense of tension. You remember the dry firing practice we did this morning? Yeah, sure. Right, that one. I'm aware. Back in the old days, I had to do that until my arms were about ready to fall off. Got up to 2 separate pinballs eventually. It's another form of isometrics, you know? Need strong muscles or your barrel ends up shaking. It's not much of a factor with an air rifle like this, but when you're shooting with a real gun and live ammunition, your body tends to unconsciously brace itself against the noise and recoil, and you end up pulling the trigger much harder than you intended, sometimes badly throwing off your aim. The exercise in question is aimed specifically at preventing that problem. Alright, this time we'll start with plinking. You're free to fire at the paper target I've set up 25 meters ahead of our position. Start off by zeroing the rifle. In other words, fire test rounds and adjust your scope based on the impact. We did it this morning as well, remember? But once you've detached the sight, there's always going to be a slight shift the next time you put it back on. Also, even changes in the temperature and atmospheric humidity can shift the point of impact by a few centimeters. When you have the chance, zeroing should always be your first order of business. Good. I'll now provision your ammo. For now, you'll be using 6mm .2 biodegradable pellets, 9 rounds in total. Use the first 3 to adjust your scope, the next 3 to aim for the center, and the last 3 to confirm the shot. Also, you're going to be shooting with a bipod in a fully prone position. But people will say that you look the same. Like, okay, let me address this. I know, in anime, and cartoons in general, and I guess also in this, everyone wears the same goddamn clothes. Whatever. Not to worry, I brought a mat this time. I unroll the foam mat I've been carrying behind the rifle case on the ground, then add a self-inflating air mattress on top, flipping open the intake valve. See? A bit more comfortable than the ground, and your clothes won't get dirty. Hell yeah. Not sure if this is much of a bonus, but I also brought along some camo netting I ordered online. With all this, we could pull off a full-scale ambush if we wanted to. It's a replica made for outdoor sports, but this one's pretty damn well made. You can drape it over your head, wrap it around the rifle, or both. A truly helpful purchase. I couldn't help buying one for myself while I was at it. Heck yeah, dude. Camouflage is extremely useful stuff. If you use local vegetation to obscure the outline of your body, even pros will have a hard time spotting you. The trick is to be careful when you're knotting the leaves together. Make sure none of them get flipped around, and don't use so much that it seems unnatural. Huh. You really do love this stuff, don't you? Surprisingly enough, Machina has displayed a fierce interest in rifles. Probably developed an interest through bits of trivia she picked up from those video games of hers. According to the testimony of Komane Sachi, her primary playmate, Maki-chan absolutely adores those bang bang shoot them up FPS games. Wait a minute. Why does she say bang bang shoot them up but then actually uses the term FPS? Like, it's like, okay, if someone doesn't know what a video game is or whatever, they'll say like bang bang shoot them up. But if you go up to someone that would use those terms and says, oh yeah, FPS games, right? They're gonna be like, huh? So it's kind of like, it's like, I don't know, it's so weird. Whatever, if you guys don't know what FPS means, it means first person shooter. And then I guess you could also say FPS means your frames per second, which are always shit in this. She always shrieks, die, die, and cackles with joy as she plays. That's what Sachi's saying. Distressed by this apparent manifestation of the virtual generation's much discussed tendency to trivialize the taking of human life, I pondered the situation at some length, ultimately deciding that rather than ducking the issue entirely, my duty was to teach the girl just how serious pulling a trigger really is. Having re-ached that conclusion, I went all out and ordered her a realistic air rifle. Just as with the bicycle, my broader goal is to raise her into a responsible person who treats any tool possessing the ability to cause harm with the wary respect it deserves.
Papa.
Yes, my daughter. What's up? Ooh. Look at that gun. Damn, dude. Jesus Christ, dude. Damn, Yuji. That's one big ass hand you got there. You know what they say, if your hand's bigger than your face, you have cancer. Anyways. Tough it out. 80% of a sniper's job is enduring discomfort. Let's begin with one shot at the paper target. Stand by. Ooh, this is interesting. After exhaling 8/10 of the air in her lungs, Machina stops breathing altogether, holding her aim steady. I let 4 seconds tick by, then quietly issue the order she's waiting for. Fire. As soon as the words leave my mouth, there's the soft sound of an ideally muffled shot, and a round white pellet 6 millimeters in diameter flashes past my spotter scope. Maybe a second or two after Machina pulled the trigger, the BB impacts on the edge of the paper target. Correction, up 1 click, left 2 clicks.
アップ1、レフト2、クリア。
Man, dude, that was a pretty big, change. Second shot, prepare to fire.
射撃用意、よーし。
Fire. The pellet, launched into a powerful backspin by the rifle's hop-up system, traces a lazy parabola through the air and strikes the target. Another miss. The wind's stronger than I thought. Let's try changing ammunition. The .25 pellets will probably do better. Remove your magazine, pull back the bolt, and stick your finger into the chamber and make sure it's empty.
指入んないぜ。
Then visual confirmation is fine. Peer into the bore from the side of the port. If you see light, we're fine.
チェンバー内、残弾なし。
Alright then, we're switching to .25 gram biodegradable pellets. Install magazine.
弾倉装着よーし。
Send the first round into the chamber.
初弾装填よーし。
This time we're going to change our target based on the direction of the wind. Look to the right and up slightly, on that bench.
何あれ、紙コップ？
Hey man, I don't see shit. Your target is a cup filled with clear blue water. If you make the shot, it'll start squirting out all over the place. Good stuff, right?
うっす、絶対ぶち当てる。
Prepare to fire.
射撃用意よーし。
Fire. The BB hops out of the barrel like a stung cat, slapping cleanly into the paper cup 25 meters away.